Hi, welcome to Ask AJ, just me today. So it's actually just an Ask Sam. It is a pretty miserable day today. I looked out the window earlier and all I could see was hailstones and horrible rain. Oh, it's just cold and nasty, isn't it? And if you've got your house on the market, you might be thinking, well, I don't really want people to come see it when it looks like this. Like, there's so much clag, that's a good northern word, isn't it? You can't see the lake, you can't see the fells, so you can't sometimes see the end of your garden. So what can you do when somebody's got a viewing booked? Well, if somebody's coming a long way, they're going to come whatever the weather. We did have some few sort of cancellations and postponements during the snow, but this is just rain, isn't it? And people are still going to want to come and see your house. So we do some preparatory, that's a good word, I can't even say it. We prepare in some ways, and I was going to share those with you in case you're on the market with somebody else that's not us, or you just want a little bit of reassurance that you're doing the right things, or you'd like to know a little bit of a checklist before you have a viewing or your next viewing. So, you're on the market, it's pouring down with rain, you've got a viewing, what next? Well, I've got some steps for you, 5 steps just behind the camera, so I'm going to read them off you. So number 1 is prepare for wet feet. Your viewers and your agent are going to have wet feet, so let's have a think about this. What's your front porch like, or your front hallway? I've got an issue in my hallway at home where because it's quite a close fitting door, I can't put a mat underneath the door. So when you first step into the hallway, luckily it's a hard floor, you're stepping onto that part. So I would have a new sort of thick doormat on the outside so that people can wipe the feet straight away and then they're walking straight onto your hard floor. If you've got a carpet floor, you don't want that to come anywhere near your floor. So hopefully your agent will bring some like slip-ons, or you can just ask people to take their shoes off. We would always tell people to take their shoes off when they come into the front door. Sometimes when it's maybe an older viewer and maybe they're wearing sort of quite formal shoes, they don't necessarily want to take the shoes off. So having little slip covers is the right answer for that. But they are going to have wet feet. You've got to just try and figure it out. And also wet clothes, maybe a wet coat, an umbrella. Just have a think about where you're going to put it all and plan for it. And if you're not doing the viewings, your agent is, as of course they should be, then just send them a little note or put a little note in the house so when they arrive you can tell them exactly what you want to do with those wet things. Secondly, make your home nice and cosy. So if you're around just before the agent turns up, or if the agent is going on their own because you're not living in the house or you're away for the day, then we would do that for you. So all the lights on, no matter what. So small lights, big lights. We like a little bit of music on if possible. We like to have a fire lit if there is a fire. Like a log burner is really lovely to have lit on a horrible day like today. And it just feels warm and cosy. We've got a house on the market at the moment that needs quite a bit of work. We've had viewing after viewing on it. So popular. But because it's very dark inside and it's got no heating, then it's really hard for people to imagine how that is going to look as a home, as opposed to just as a property, in a shell. Number 3 is have a viewings plan. Now, normally on a fine day, we normally say house, garden, house again. And the reason for that is because people need a bit of time to process what they've seen. They don't just want to go around the house twice before they go out to the garden. And if they go house, garden, then go, you've missed the opportunity to keep them in the house, to just let them absorb the house. And so that's why we do house, garden, house. And our viewings team are very trained to do exactly that. So normally they do an accompanied viewing around the house first time, accompanying them around the garden. We'll come back into the house and we'll say, right, we'll stay in the kitchen, say, you have a look around by yourself, and then they get a chance to have a little chat to each other about whether they like it or not. Otherwise they find out that one of them loved it and the other one hated it, and by that time they're in the car going back down the M6 and it's too late. So you can't do that though in wet weather. It's just too faffy to get your coat on and off and come back in again and risk the sort of wet feet and the footprints another time. So what you're better off doing is just doing the house and then garden at the end, which means that you do have to try and spend quite a bit of time in the house, because usually if someone's going to buy a house, they need to be in that house for at least half an hour, 45 minutes. If they're in and out in 5 minutes, they don't like the house. It's kind of like a date, isn't it? Like, you don't want to be just rushing it. You want to just sit down and just find out about each other. Sometimes, yes, you do know in the first 5 minutes. I'm speaking from personal experience, but let's say you're going to give them the benefit of the doubt. You want that person to stay in that house for as long as possible, because familiarity makes somebody like the house more, not less, usually. So have a think about that and discuss that with your agent. Number 4 is encourage I don't know what I've written now. Encourage a second viewing. If it's a horrible day on the first viewing, encourage a second viewing and hope for better weather, even plan for better weather, especially if there's a view. What you really want, of course, is a blue sky day and a view for miles, especially if you've got a lake view or a mountain view. You can't always get that, of course, but when it's really, really horrible weather like this, they probably need a second chance to have a look at it. And it's a reason for your agent to book a second viewing with that person so they get the benefit of the view and they can see what they could see from the house. And the house is going to look so much better. So if I was doing that first viewing, I'd say, look, I'm going to show you around today, but it's probably the worst day to show you. What I'd really love to do is book in a second viewing. I'll check the weather, and then you can see it in both those kind of conditions. And lots of people would say yes at that point. And then the last point is, and especially if you can't do number 4, if you can't book a second viewing in better weather, then show them some photographs or videos of it in sunny weather. So I'm sure that if your brochure has got sunny photos on there, then they would like to see those. They would like to see that house in a different time of the year so that they can really appreciate it. I quite like to do the opposite as well. Like if it's a really sunny and blue sky day, I like to show them a photograph or video of the house in the snow. Because I think that houses look so romantic in the snow. It makes me feel like I'm in, the holiday or something. It's just a really nice cosy feeling, isn't it? So I like to show them, the viewers, the photographs of that house in all seasons, and that way they can kind of imagine themselves living there throughout the seasons, which is usually a good thing for them to do. And that's it. So that is how to sell your home in Lake District weather, even if, like today, it is hailing and rotten and nasty. That's what you need to do. And if you've got any questions about how to sell your house in Lake District weather, or any weather wherever you are, then please give us a call, 015 394 888 111. And finally, if you haven't already seen this on the various updates we've done, we have launched a new letting agency. Hooray! And what we're looking for is landlords, maybe like you, or investors, or would-be investors that haven't got a house to let yet, that want some advice on how to choose a house, how to know what the letting potential of a house is, how to navigate the very difficult minefield that is the Renters' Rights Act that's coming on the 1st of May, that's bringing a whole raft of reforms to renting legislation. And if you're self-managing as a landlord, then please talk to us, because even if you continue to self-manage, at least you know where you are with it. And ChatGPT gets it wrong, as we've discovered many times as we've been doing our own research over the last few months. So please talk to an expert. And who do you know who has a house that would like to talk to us about renting it, or using it as an investment property in some way, even holiday letting it or selling it? We would love to be put in touch with them. So that's me today. Thank you very much for watching this Ask AJ, and I might be back in a future episode. Who knows? Bye for now.